The sociological pathology of Governor Mark Sanford's fall from grace continues. There's new clarity about many of the people and events leading up to last week's dramatic public confession of infidelity. And there's one huge unanswered question. Who done it? Who stole those steamy emails and gave them to the press? First, what we know. The governor is still the governor, and he does not intend to resign. He told NBC's Mark Potter that he considered stepping down, but changed his mind.
To be human is to, on occasion, fall flat on your face. I've done it in the most public of circles. The question now is, what do I learn from it, and what do others learn from it?
And as he hangs on to his office, Governor Sanford is still apologizing. Last Wednesday, before disclosing his affair, Mr. Sanford apologized to his wife, his family, his staff, his supporter, the people of the Palmetto State, and the people of faith. Today, Mr. Sanford started his big state budget meeting with this.
We've dealt with each other for 6.5 years now. I want to apologize to you as well for letting y'all down.
That's the governor. As for the rest of the people snarled in the mess he created, there is the governor's wife, Jenny Sanford. We now know how and when she learned of the whole story. The former Wall Street executive, who is credited for many of her husband's successes, issued a statement on Wednesday saying that she asked her husband to leave about 2 weeks ago, adding that, quote, this trial separation was agreed to with the goal of ultimately strengthening our marriage, end quote. On Friday, Mrs. Sanford said her #1 priority is her family, not her husband's political career.
His career right now is the least of my concerns. My important job right now is our children. So.
Jenny Sanford told the Associated Press she knew her husband was cheating after finding a love letter in one of Sanford's files in the governor's mansion. Sanford even had the nerve to ask Mrs. Sanford if it was okay for him to visit his mistress. She told the AP, quote, I said absolutely not. It's one thing to forgive adultery. It's another thing to condone it. He was told in no uncertain terms not to see her, end quote. South Carolina's First Lady says her husband promised to end the affair, and they agreed to enter counseling. And for better or worse, we now know more about that than we previously had. Enter Warren Cubby Culbertson.
I see Cubby Culbertson in the back of the room. I would consider him a spiritual giant. And hang on, and an incredibly dear friend. And he has been helping us work through this over these last 5 months.
Everybody meet Cubby. Today, Cubby Culbertson, in an interview with the AP, said that Mark and Jenny Sanford were in his love boot camp class with 4 couples this past spring, and that they'd passed the class with flying colors. Now, Culbertson is saying the only thing holding the Sanford's marriage together is, quote, their vow to God, because it's not feelings, it's not emotions, end quote. That is the news about the Sanfords and the difficulties in their relationship. What's left to know is who done it, who obtained and then leaked the intimate emails between the governor and his Argentinian girlfriend. The state newspaper in Columbia, South Carolina, had the emails, informed the governor of it sometime before his fateful press conference. Last week, the newspaper said they got it from the emails, that is, from an anonymous source back in December. But who done it? Still the question. It starts with Maria Bilan-Chapur, Mark Sanford's girlfriend, who is also a mother, a divorced spouse, and the recipient of those difficult-to-read romantic emails. On Friday night, the New York Times reported a man who dated Ms. Bilan-Chapur may have leaked the emails to Governor Sanford's hometown newspaper. The New York Times source, a Buenos Aires TV executive who had hired Bilan-Chapur. The colleague told the Times the jilted lover happened to see the email messages from the governor and hacked into her email account to see the rest. And one of the published email messages dated July 9th, 2008, she wrote Governor Sanford that she had seen another man. Quote, he is a very nice guy, great heart, but unfortunately I am not in love with him. You are my love, end quote. This is so TMI. Sunday, Sanford's mistress denied the report, issuing a statement stating the accused leaker in question is, quote, an excellent, respectable, and honorable man, far away from being the author of this evil action. He was instead another victim. In December 2008, the stolen emails were sent by the hacker to him as well as to the newspaper. Sanford's girlfriend adding, quote, I do have a firm suspicion of whom particularly may have done this. Whoever the culprit is, he or she hacked into Bilan-Chapur's email around November 24th, and the following month sent the email messages to her ex and the state newspaper, which doesn't narrow it down all that much. So, again, who done it and why? Joining us now is Ben Hoover from NBC News affiliate WIS in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Ben.
Hey, Allison, how you doing?
Doing well, except I want to know, are we any closer to knowing where these emails came from?
That's a really good question. You know, the focus here in Columbia, South Carolina isn't so much on these emails. I think it would have been a bigger focus here in Columbia if you would have seen that the supposed hacker break into Mark Sanford's email account. But as far as we know, this hacker broke into Maria Belén Shapour's account, her Hotmail account in Argentina. Really, the focus here is more so, will Governor Mark Sanford stay or will he go? But back to those emails, as far as we know from Maria Belén Shapour, she, in this statement to the Argentinian media, said that it was not her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, not Mark Sanford, some other man down in Argentina. She even called him a victim, all of this, saying that whoever anonymously sent these emails to the state newspaper also sent them to him.
Well, tell us a little bit about what this is doing to the local political scene. Who's lining up with Governor Sanford? Who's not?
Of course, who's not? That would be Senator Jake Knotts of Lexington. He's the lawmaker here in Columbia who last week had a press conference calling for an investigation into Sanford's trips to Argentina. We have not heard from Jake Knotts since that press conference last week, but I'm sure that we will hear more from him in the coming days. On that same day, our state law enforcement division actually said that they will look at the facts, but as far as they know so far, there is no need for an investigation at this point. Lieutenant Governor Andre Bauer, he's another player in all of this. He's been sort of getting a lot of attention right now because people have been thinking that he's sort of jockeying to take over for Sanford, and if he were to resign and finish out his term, and that would put him in a better position to run for governor. But now he's saying that if Mark Sanford were to step aside, he would in fact just step in and then not run for governor at the end of that term. But you also have to ask the question, is he wanting to run for another office like U.S. Congress or something like that? You need to ask yourself two questions, Allison, when you talk about people who are sounding off on if Governor Mark Sanford should stay or go. You need to ask yourself, are they running for governor in 2010? And you also have to ask yourself, who are they supporting for governor in 2010?
All right, tell me a little bit about Cubby Culbertson. I mean, I just know what I read on the AP. He said, for most Christians, if you're married long enough, you do it because that's what we're called to do, out of obedience instead of out of passion. And I think that's where Mark and Jenny are right now. Well,
Cubby Culbertson, he was at that press conference last Wednesday, as Governor Sanford said. He is a pillar in the Christian community here in Columbia. We're learning through the Associated Press that, in fact, Culbertson held these couple spiritual sessions with 4 or 5 other couples with the Sanfords in the executive mansion for every Sunday in the month of May. And this was, of course, after Jenny Sanford had learned of the affair through that letter that she found in the file in Sanford's office. You know, they had these sessions for all the Sundays in May, talking about how to keep the passion alive in your marriage, and they specifically really target on the men in the marriage and how to keep yourself sort of straight and narrow in your marriage.
Ben Hoover, co-anchor for NBC affiliate WIS in Columbia, South Carolina. Thank you for sharing your reporting, Ben.
You're welcome.